Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. This year should be a special schus for Chayalei Tzahal, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yishmereim Yatzilem, Mikol Tzara, V'tzukol, Mikol Nego, Machala. We are going to be discussing the Siyata Dishmaya, the union of Geirus, Koydem, Matan, Torah. Topic not so many people know so much about. Very, very exciting. We're basing ourselves on the beautiful Sefer Geirus Yitzchak and Shavuos and Siman Ches. In Parashas Vayeshev it says, Vayar Sham Yehuda Bas Ish Kenani Ushmo Shua Vayikachev Vayavo Eleh. So Yehuda saw the daughter of a Canaanite man, and his name was Shua, and he took her, and he had relations with her. Targum Yonasan. What does it mean that he took her? Shegira. It means that he converted her. And where's the foundation of being Megayer in this pre-Matan Torah period? That we find Yevamos and Avkuf that Avram Avinu was mitztaveh that he shouldn't take a nachris and a shivcha. Don't take a goyish woman, in order that the children don't end up being goyim. We're not in favor of assimilation. We like them to remain Jews. So Avram Avinu had to make sure that his wife was Jewish. And in the same vein, that's what Yehuda did according to the Targum Yonasan Meseches Sotan Daf Yud Beis Amid Beis. It says Vatered Bas Paro Lirchotz Alei Yor, that Bas Paro went and she bathed herself on the river. Malamid Sheyarda Lirchotz Migilulei Aviha, that Bas Paro went to wash herself from the idols of her father. Rashi says, what does that mean? Litbol l'shem Geirus, that Bas Paro went to immerse herself for the sake of Geirus. Says the Turei Even in Megillah Daf Yud Gimel Amid Aleph, that Ger requires Tvila, that is when he's going to enter Kedushas Yisrael and to leave the Torah's B'nai Noach, that he should no longer have the status of a Gentile. Because we learned this inyan of Tvila from the Dor HaMidbar, that they were Mol and Toivel in order to be Makabel the Torah. But Bo'osa Azman, in that period of time, everybody had a Torah's B'nai Noach. So what's the point of Bas Paro going to immerse herself? However, we find already that the Avos had a Shem Yisrael. Where do you see this? It's Gemara in Kedushin. And Daf Yud Ches Amud Aleph. Esau was called Yisrael Mummer. He was called an apostate Jew already back then. Yevamos Kuf Amud Beis. Avram Avinu, like we already mentioned, was commanded not to take a Gentile woman in order that their seed should not follow her. Sanhedrin, Nunches, a goy who smites a Jew is chayav misa. Shenemar v'yifen kol v'chol v'yar ki enish v'achas ha-mitzri. So this Mitzri hit this Ivri, and he was chayav misa. So you see that he has a din of a Jew. So you see that before Matan Torah, they already had a Torah Yisrael, even though it was not yet Matan Torah. So they also had B'nai Noach, but they had a Torah Yisrael. So there's a famous kasha, how Avram Avinu was Mekayim Kol HaTorah before the Torah was given. I ben Noach sheshavas chayiv misa, and Avram Avinu was a ben Noach. He's still Taka ben Noach. He might have a Torah Yisrael, but that's already a question. Did he leave being a ben Noach legamrei or not? But assuming that he didn't, so how is he Shomer Shabbos? Goy sheshavas chayiv misa. So he's in between a rock and a hard place. If he keeps Shabbos, then he's not allowed to. And if he doesn't keep Shabbos, but he says he kept the whole Torah. So the Teretz says there are many Terutzim, many Terutzim. The Brisker Rav said that in the Rambam it says that the Isser of a Goy to be Shoves is Gizim Mechadish Das La'atzmo. He's making his own religion. But since the Avos already had Torah Yisrael on them, so he's not making his own religion. Just they weren't commanded. But it's not considered a Chidush Das. He's not making his own religion. He's following God's religion. The Brisker Rav proved from a number of places that before Matan Torah, the Avos had a Cheftz of Torah. And their Kiyumei mitzvahs were not just Stam Maisim Tovim, but rather they were Kiyumam V'Kiyum Mitzvah Torah. Begeder Eino Mitzvah V'Yoseh. They were doing good thing, they just weren't commanded. The Rambam in the 9th parak of Hilchos Malacha Aleph writes, Al Shisha Dvarim Nitztav Adam Arishon, etc. Comes Avram Avinu. Adam was commanded 6th, then there was a 7th, then Avram Avinu came. He had Mila, Yitzchak, and then Yaakov. Ube Mitzrayim, Zok the Rambam, Nitztava Amram, and Mitzvahs Yiseros. And Mitzrayim, Amram got more mitzvahs. Ad Sheba Moshe Rabbeinu, v'nishlama Torah al Yado. A very interesting lashon of the Rambam. Nishlama Torah al Yado. So l'chor, we have to understand. As long as the Torah wasn't given, there was no Torah. What does it mean the Torah was completed with Moshe Rabbeinu? There was no Torah before Moshe Rabbeinu. There was nothing to complete. Nothing started. So what do we see from this Rambam? From this Rambam, you see that the Avos already had a chefetz of Torah. What they were doing before and already was called Torah. And then when Moshe Rabbeinu came around, Nishlama Torah al Yado. And now the Torah was completed, more mitzvahs were given, and now they're mitzvah v'yosa. So according to this, since the Avos already had a Torah Yisrael, and the kiyum of the Avos' mitzvahs was a kiyum in the chefetz of Torah. There was this concept of Torah, this notion of Torah. Begeder. Ein mitzuvim ve'osin, that they weren't commanded and they were doing anyway. And they were even commanded to do certain mitzvahs, like Avram Avinu was commanded to do milah. So memela, you can have Geirus before Matan Torah. Just we have to understand, since they were not commanded to do all the mitzvahs, just some of them, do they have to, in order to get the Torah Yisrael, be makabel upon themselves all of the Taryag mitzvahs? Or, no. They don't have to be makabel all the time, just the mitzvahs they were commanded. Or maybe no. They have to be makabel upon themselves in theory, that they are accepting upon themselves all 613 mitzvahs. You're right, they weren't commanded in all the mitzvahs. It says in Chazal that they were keeping the mitzvahs before they were given, whatever that means. But maybe they have to be makabel, and obviously not be makabel and not keep. They have to be makabel upon themselves all 613 mitzvahs. Or maybe no, in order to get Torah Yisrael, they don't have to be makabel all 613 mitzvahs. They just have to be makabel the mitzvahs that they were commanded to do. Sarachiyim. The Ramban in Parshas Emor on the pasuk Vayetze ben Isha Yisraelis writes, Ki me'esha ba'Avram Avinu bebris, Hayu Yisrael. From the time Avram Avinu had bris, they became Jews. Uvagoyim lo yischashav. And now they're not considered amongst the goyim. Kumoshamar be'esav Yisrael mumar shiny, like the Gemara says in Kedush we mentioned before. By Esav, that a Yisrael mumar is different than a din of Yisrael mumar. So we see from this Ramban that through the bris milah, Avram Avinu had a din of Yisrael, and he no longer had a din of Ben Noach. He says, Me'ez shebar mino bris ha Yisrael, uvagoyim lo yischashav. Weren't considered goyim anymore. And the Yisod HaDavar is that when Avram Avinu had bris milah, it wasn't just doing a mitzvah. Avram Avinu's bris milah was a kiyum of Geirus. And it's mefurish like that in the Mechilta, Perak Yitches and Mishpatim Chavibim HaGeirim, Shemlo Mol Avram Avinu, Ela ben Tishim v'Teisha Shanim. She'ilu Mol ben Esrim, Lohaya Ger Yochel is Gair Pachos, Ela B'Pachos mi Ben Chav. In other words, it says the Medrash, it says the Mechilta, that it's a good thing Avram Avinu did it at 99, because had he done it at 20, then you wouldn't have been able to be Mizgayer after 20. It had to be less than Avram Avinu was. Maybe afterwards it's too late. So you see from there that we're learning all of Geirus from Avram Avinu. And that means that there was Geirus, that Avram Avinu was the act of Milah, Maisa Milah was a Maisa of Geirus. We have to understand, there was a parsha of Geirus even before the Milah of Avram Avinu. It says the beginning of Parshas Lech Lecha, V'esanev she'asu b'charon, Targum Yonasan writes, V'yasnav she'sa digiru b'charon. There was already Geirus before. Rashi says, "Echnisan tachas kanfei hashchina." Avram is Magayer the Noshim, Sarah Anoshim, Sarah the Noshim. So you see that there's already a Torah's Geirus before the Bris Milah of Avram Avinu. So what's pshat in the Ramban and in the Mechilta that only from the time of Bris Milah, that's when he became a Jew. He was already a Jew before. In Masechet Avodah Zarah and Daf Tes Amud Aleph, Tana de Eliyahu, the world is 6,000 years. We're coming to the end. It's the final countdown. 2,000 years of Tohu, 2,000 years of Torah, and 2,000 years of Mashiach. One of the 2,000 years of Torah from Avram Avinu. Es hanev she'asu b'charon. Says the Brisker Rav that until Avram Avinu, There was no Chefetz of Torah in the world. Even though Shem and Eber, Chazal tell us, learn Torah, it wasn't considered a Chefetz of Torah. It wasn't considered a real Torah. It was ideas of Torah, but it wasn't the real Torah. The real Torah, the real Chefetz of Torah, the real concept of Torah, only started with Avram Avinu. So Nevesh Asu B'charan, and this is before the Bris Milah. So you see that Avram Avinu already had Torah Yisrael before the Bris. And therefore, only he, says the Bris Gorav, could have a Chefetz of Torah. Shem and Eber can't have a Chefetz of Torah because they don't have Torah Yisrael. But Avram Avinu was a din of Yisrael, so he could have a Chefetz of Torah. So what does it mean that it only started with the Geirus? It already started before the Geirus. It only started with the Bris Milah. It already started before the Bris Milah. So which one is it? We see in the Ramban and the Mechilta from Bris Milah, but we already see in the Pasuk in Nefesh Subuchara and Rashi Tagim Yonason, the Gemara in Avodah Zarah. It already started in Nefesh Subuchara in the years of Torah, because Avram Avinu already had Torah Yisrael before the actual Bris Milah. So which one is it? So here we get to a very big Lamdashi Yisod, Zeir Bakant in the Yeshiva Shavelt. We'll see it now. We paskin that Akum ve'eved haba bas Yisrael, if you have a goy or an eved Kanaini who has bia with a Jewish woman, havlad kosher. It's a Jewish child. We all know that, but it's not Shittas Tosas. Shittas Tosas is that vlad kosher is because we follow the father, meaning the goy or the eved. The child is a goy kosher, meaning the child's not a mamzer. That's the kashrus. He's not a mamzer. But he needs Geirus. So a goy abo bas Yisrael, the child needs Geirus. So everybody asks on Tosfos from a Gemara in Bechoros, and Daf Mem Zayin Amud. I don't know if everybody, I'm saying there are probably a few people in Topeka, Kansas who haven't asked this kasha. Maybe a few people in the Silicon Valley are busy making new gadgets. They didn't ask this kasha. But the Welt asked the kasha. The Welt that's learning Torah. That we find in Bechoros Mem Zayin Amud Aleph that Eliyavia sheyolda b'na potter mechamei slaim. If a female Levi gives birth, she doesn't have to pigeon a ben. And the Gemara says we're talking about a case where she was impregnated by a goy. And potter mena pigeon, because the Vlad is called a Levi puzzle. Non-Jewish father, Levi mother, Levi puzzle, potter me pigeon a ben. But according to Shittas Tosfos, what's the Gemara talking about? The kid is pater because he's a guy. If you hold that he's a guy, then he's pater because he's a guy. Why does it say no? Levi puzzle. One kash on Tosfos. Another kash on Tosfos. If we require Geirus, that would mean that he's a Katan Shenolad, and he has no relatives. And we learned before Shin Yavam Sadi Zayin Amud Beis that he's also Rekrov Ha'im. How could this kid be also Rekrov Ha'im? He's a Katan Shenolad. So Rav Naftali Trop in Ksubis and Simon Chav Ches explains that even though Vlad Hanolad Me'akum Haba Bas Yisrael Tzarech Geirus, let's go with Tosfos Mahalach and say that they're correct, that the kid needs Geirus. It's not because he's a Goy Gomer. And we're going to have a new concept. You ready? He's a Yisrael, but he doesn't have Kedushas Yisrael. He has Torah Yisrael, he has a law of Yisrael, but he doesn't have Kedushas Yisrael. Because the Yichus of Kedusha is totally ba'avos. Kedchtiv, lemishpechoisam, leveis avoisam. Kedusha, fun tate. Torah Yisrael, fun mame. Kachazeh. Kedushas Kahuna, from the father. Kedushas Leviah, from the father. Kedushas Yisrael, you're a holy Jew, from the father. The holiness, father. The law of being a Jew, from the mother. So the fizeh, for the kashas. Why is the Vlad Pater Mepidjin Aben? Because because he's a Nachri, but the Rav Naftali is not a Nachri. Because Tosas didn't mean that he doesn't have any. There are kashas on Rav Naftali, but we'll go with his Malach. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have He's not Jewish at all. He's not a goy gomer, but he doesn't have Kedushas Yisrael. But he has Torah Yisrael. So if the Gemara doesn't say he's patur mipidyon aben al's goy, because he's not a goy gomer, and also he's also b'krovei, we understand that he's also b'krovei because he's not a katan shenoilad, because he didn't start off being a goy gomer. So you see from Rabbi Naftali Akopanim the Yisod that there's such a thing called Torah Yisrael, b'li Kedushas Yisrael. That a person can have a law of a Jew, even though he doesn't have the Kedusha. And you can have Geirus, Mila, Tvila. Remember, this kid has to do Geirus, even for somebody who's a Jew. He's just lacking Kedushas Yisrael. So if this is correct, then we can say like this, that before the Mila of Avram Avinu, even though he had a Torah Yisrael and there was a Cheft of Torah, but he didn't have Kedushas Yisrael. So why was Avram Avinu Mizgayer? Why did he do the Bris Milah? Because of the Reb Naftali trap. Avram Avinu, he was born in 1948, in Bria Solam, and Naftali Trump died a little bit before 1948. About 2 decades before, Barach, give or take. So, I'm not chas shalom being mezalzel, meaning this yisod of Avram Avinu was already around. Rav Naftali's chiddush, you could already read into Avram Avinu. That's what he got. In other words, not chas shalom. That it only came around. Rav Naftali Trupp was mechadish Torah. Kol mashet talmid vasek asik lechadish karnem eloshim misinai. So the yisod was already there. So you could prove his yisod from Avram Avinu. That Avram Avinu went and did the bris milah. Hashem told him to do the bris milah. What was the purpose of the bris milah? The purpose of it is Kedushas Yisrael, because otherwise, again, we're stuck. What do you do? On one hand, you have that he was a ger already before the Bris Milah, and on the other hand, the Bris Milah was a Maisa Geirus. So, which way do you go? What do you need Geirus if you're already Jewish? So, indeed, there are many Jews who go to mikveh every day. But they don't go to mikveh to be Mizgayer, they go to mikveh to be a better Jew, a pure Jew. But what was Avram Avinu doing? When he did the Bris Milah, how could it be a Maisa Geirus if he's already Jewish? The answer is he had, like Reb Naftali said, he had, maybe right now, who knows, maybe they're sitting Gan Eden learning together. Avram Avinu and Naftali Trupp, and he said, yeah. You're Yisod, I already knew you're Yisod long before you came around. Baruch Hashem, b'siyata d'shmaya. Kol hanechalim olchim elayam. So Avram Avinu was Mal Bris Milah to get the Kedushas Yisrael. That's why Hashem told him to do it. And also Baspara, when she went to be Tobel Alior. So it could be she was already Makabel Mitzvahs. And once she was Makabel Mitzvahs, she already had Torah Yisrael. But now by the Tvila, she has Kedushas Yisrael. In Targum Yonasan, it says that Yehuda took this daughter of Shua. He was Megayer. That's what he says that V'yikachea means. So it's mashma that what's pshat V'yikachea b'dvar. Usually Vayikach is b'dvarim. That he takes her with words. Right? If he was Megayer her, it's not Mashma that Vayikacheha is that he was matbil her l'shem Geirus. Vayikacheha lokcha b'dvarim. We have that elsewhere. So if that's the case, what about Tvila? If Avram Avinu came to Bris HaGeirus, she needs Tvila. So the answer is that even after the parasha of Geirus, you still have Kabbalah. It's enough to do Kabbalah. Kabbalah's hamitzvahs give already Torah Yisrael. So now we understand that Yehuda took her. Why? Because we learned in the Gemara in Yevam, Stav Kufan Beis, that Avram Avinu should marry a Nachris in order that the child shouldn't follow the Nachris and be a Goya. But Yehuda now takes this woman, so she's not allowed to be a Nachris. Now, question is, does she need Kedushas Yisrael? What does Tvila do? Tvila gives you Kedushas Yisrael. What does Kabbalah HaMitzvahs do? Kabbalah HaMitzvahs, like we said, gives you Torah Yisrael. That would be enough before Matan Torah. So if that's the case, it's beautiful. She didn't need to have Kedushas Yisrael, because the whole vort was that Yehuda's children were not supposed to be following her and be goyim. And we paskin that the children follow the mother. So we didn't want the children to be goyim. So if you don't want the children to be goyim, it's enough that she has Torah Yisrael. Because where does the Kedushas Yisrael come from? The Kedushas Yisrael comes from the father. The Torah Yisrael, the fact that you have a law of a Jew, that comes from the mother. But the Kedusha comes from the father. So all he didn't need that she have Kedushas Yisrael and do Tefillah. All he needed was that she have Torah Yisrael. How did she get Torah Yisrael? By being makabel upon herself to be a good Jewess. So he gave her Torah Yisrael, Be'ikcheh b'Dvarim, she did makabel mitzvahs. And then afterwards, the Kedushas Yisrael they get from Yehuda. Because Yehuda has Kedushas Yisrael. Yehuda has a Bris Milah. So, these are some machshavas about Geirus before Matan Torah. And obviously there's loads more to say. And as we come up right before Matan Torah, it's good to think about what was before and what was after. And we should be Zelcha Lilmo Du L'Lamed, Lishmor V'Lasla, so the Kaim is Kol Divrei Salmo Torah V'Yahava. Amen v'Amen. Shalom, shalom, sweetest and most beloved friends.